Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Strength and Balance. This morning we are using some hand weights. So if you have a set of hand weights, make sure you grab them and have them ready. If not, no worries. We'll focus on that form. We'll focus on engaging your muscles as we work with no weights, or you can always use a household item. A 16.9 ounce water bottle is about 1.1 pound. Soup cans are about the same. So try to find something that's, has a little bit more density and a little bit more heavy than that if need be. But, and remember today, so we are using weights. It is the first time that we're using weights for this class virtually. So if it's the first time that you've used weights since COVID, please make sure you listen to your body, see how your body's feeling, responding. We really want to make sure that we're focusing on safety. So really pay attention. My numbers are a guideline. So, and depending on what size weight you have. So the weight might be too light. It might be too heavy. I will give you, if it's too light, do more repetitions and go really slow. If it's too heavy, do a couple repetitions, however many you can do with proper form, and then you can always drop the weight and do it with no weight. And again, if you have no weight, we're going to go really slow through the movement, moving the body, focusing on the squeeze and the engagement of the muscles. So let's start off. We're going to start off standing. All right. We're just going to warm up a little bit. Definitely the arms. We're going to work a little bit more arms. Let's do arm circles. We're going to work a little bit more arms than legs today. We focused a little bit more on legs on Tuesday. So today we will focus a little bit more on arms, a little bit more of that upper body. So if you have issues with the shoulder, if you have issues with any part of that upper body, just be mindful. And it's okay to always drop the weight and do less, or to adjust however you need to. Let's do one more each side in this direction. Then we'll bring those arms forward. Big arm circles. So if we like the weights, just let me know. You can shoot me a message and we can try to incorporate it a little more. I know it's hard virtually right now, but I think we're doing a pretty good job. One more each side. Shoulder height, palms facing the floor. Small and this opposite direction. And release. Alternate reaching an arm overhead. Now remember, we're coming up on that toe. We're shifting our weight, balancing here on that stationary leg and reaching so we feel this all the way down the arm, but also down the side of the body, all the way down the leg and onto that toe. So that nice reach, waking up the side of the body as well as the arms. Again, we are doing more upper body, so we really want to make sure that the arms are awake and ready to work. One more each side. Then we will take these across. So make sure we pivot on that toe, move through the hips, then reach that arm across. We don't want to hinge. We want to make sure that we are upright as we bring that arm across. Exhale as you twist. One more each side. Then we'll get right into your swimmers. So a soft bend in the knee. One arm will come forward. Whoops. One arm will come back. But make sure we're having that soft bend in the knee, pressing through the heels. One more each side, then shoulder roll. So we're bringing the shoulders forward, up, around, and down. One more, and keep them down and back. With the shoulders down and back, we are going to take your head look to the right and to the left. One more each side. Then bring those arms out to the side. And we are going to turn the hands so the palms are face forward. Open the chest. And then bring one arm across. Open up the chest. Then the opposite arm comes on top. Really focus on both parts of the movement. So where you open the chest with the shoulders down, and then where you give yourself a big hug. So we really want to make sure that we focus on both parts of the movement, squeezing the shoulder blades back as we open the chest, and then squeezing the chest as we stretch the back. And release. Swing the arms out a little bit. We're going to go into a little bit of that lower body warm up too, and then we'll pick up the weight. So we're just going to bring the heels to the front, alternate digging a heel into the floor, perhaps getting that blood pumping a little bit more. One more each side, then tap them back. So we're making sure that we're not leaning back, balancing here as we step that foot back, squeeze the glute. You can always add the arms when you have it. One more each side. Then we are going to take 2 lateral steps to your left, and then 2 lateral steps to the right. When we do this, we can add the arms coming forward. Oops, ran into my curtain. 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Side to side. Two more right and back to center. Arms are up, shoulders are down. We are going to bring our knees up to the front. So slow, controlled, abdomen is tight. One more each side. Last one before we pick up those weights, butt kicks. So shifting our weight, kicking our butt. When you have this, you can drive the elbows back. One more each side. And release. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. So before we pick up our weights, we are going to talk about form. We are going into your shoulder press. So if you have no weights, this is where you will stay. We're going to bring those arms up. Palms turned in slightly, so we don't want them facing our face, but we don't want them out, so we want them in slightly. So elbows just slightly in front of that midline of the body. Now make sure they're not dropped. We want to keep the elbows up. From here, we are going to stand up tall. So we have a soft, natural bend in the knee, pressing through both heels, arms are up. Now when the arms are up, it's important that we're not shrugging. We need to relax the shoulders down, abdomen is tight. Still no weights in hand. And our options are to either alternate one arm at a time, or press both arms up and down, up and down. Now, what we need to keep in mind when we bring the arms overhead, we want to make sure that we don't push the hips forward. So we want to keep nice and strong and steady, press up and down, up and down. So make sure your eyes are forward and not up towards the ceiling. When you look up, a lot of times, the hips go with the arms. So we are going to do about 10-ish repetitions. If your weights are really heavy, you can alternate and do 10 total, so that'll only be 5 per side. If your weights are really light, go slow, slow it down. If you have no weight, go slow. So we're gonna go for 10-ish, focus on that form. We are working on those shoulders, okay? Working on those shoulders. And remember, when we pick up the weight, we're not gonna pick them up like that. You're gonna hurt the back. So when we pick up, we squat down, brace the core, and pick it up. So we are picking up those weights nice and strong and solid, protecting the back. Arms are up, and we have about 10-ish. Go nice and slow. If they're heavy, again, alternate or do less. If they are light, go slower and do more. Keep that core tight. Make sure we're not leaning forward. When you finish, you can release. You can release those weights down. I'm gonna go right into those arm circles to loosen it up. Take a second. You're ready. Notice how you are feeling. If you want to do more repetitions or less repetitions. So when you're ready, we can go again. Another 10-ish. Protect that back as you pick those weights up. Keep that core nice and tight. Same thing, when you finish, you can release the weights down. Roll those shoulders back, take a second. And we have one last set. So we are doing 3 sets of everything today, just so you can be mindful of how many repetitions of everything you need to do. So again, pay attention to your form. How are the shoulders feeling? It's okay, again, to drop weight and just do 10 with that range of motion, right? So we really want to focus on the range of motion. If your weight's too heavy and you're having a really hard time and you're leaning and you can't extend those arms all the way long, you're not going to, you have a potential for injury. So I'd rather you drop the weight and go with that full range of motion with that proper form. All right, last set. Here we go. You can always alternate. If this set starts to get too tough for you, make sure you don't drop the elbows down too low. And when you are finished, you can release. Release and roll those shoulders back. So again, we are doing 3 sets of everything today. Hopefully those shoulders feel really good. We're going to give those shoulders a break, and we are working the back. So again, before we pick up the weight, when you are ready, I would like you to bring both arms forward and then drive both elbows back. When you drive both elbows back, I want you to squeeze the crap out of your shoulder blades. Squeeze them together, like you're trying to squeeze a grape between those shoulder blades. Now notice, I'm not up here. My shoulders are down, and I am squeezing here. So this is what we are working when we are doing those bent over rows. We are working the back with those bent over rows. So if you have no weight, you do not need to hinge. Okay, so if you do not have any weight, you do not need to hinge, because I just want you to focus on squeezing the shoulder blades together. Hold for maybe 20 seconds and then release. Hold for another 20 seconds and release. Really focusing on engaging the back, and you're going to notice a big difference even if you don't have weights. If you have weight, 2 options: single arm or double arm. Single arm is more comfortable for the back, less severe on the back. So I'd like you to start with your single arm. Then we'll get into double arm. So single arm, you are going to take your left foot forward, right foot back. The weight is in your right hand. You are going to hinge. So hips away here. Lean on that left quad with your left hand. So you're going to be holding here. Now, it's important that my feet are not in line here. My feet are still hip width apart, just 1 foot's back. That way I'm stable. If your feet are in line, you are going to get wobbly and you're going to timber, all right? So make sure your feet are still hip width distance apart, just 1 foot is forward, and then we're hinging at the waist and leaning on that front leg. Now, as we lean here, a lot of people around the back. So I want the chest up to the ceiling, okay? Chest up to the ceiling. Shoulders back, squeeze the lats. Now, that arm is going to come long. Drive the elbow back and release. Drive the elbow back and release. We will start off with 10 per side. Let's begin. That was 2 for me. You want to focus on square hips, square shoulders, so we're not rotating. And again, that elbow's going back. Make sure the shoulder stays down. Bring your wrist towards the hip. That helps you squeeze the lat, which is the big long muscle down the side of your back. When you finish 10 on one side, we can flip on over and do 10 on the opposite side. Focus on form. Shoulders down. Make sure that shoulder stays back. pause back there, really focus on the squeeze of the muscle. I think this is number 8. When you finish 10-ish on each side, you can release, stand on up. If you start to feel that hinge in your back, tighten up your core a little bit more. And if you're feeling any pain in the low back, you are rounding. So focus on that posture. Focus on that form. Now, if that felt really good and really strong and you want to try both arms, that is fine. Hips will be square. You can go right into 10 per side if you're going to stay on single sides. If you have no weights and you're going to stand tall, or if that was intense for you and you would rather stand tall with no weight, that's fine. With that pause, that works too. Option 3, you're going to pick up your weight. Feet are hip width distance apart, so they are side by side, but hip width. Hinging at the waist. Again, make sure we're not rounding. Chest is up, hinging, then pulling both arms back and release. Just like those good mornings. Here you want to pause back there and really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let's go for another 10, whatever option is appropriate for you. Just make sure those shoulders are down. Abdomen is tight. Protect that low back. If you feel any pain with the hinging, really be mindful of that form, okay? I will leave my email address. I'll put it now while you're finishing if you have both sides. Finish up both sides if you're doing one side. I'm going to put the email in the chat. If anybody has a question, we have one last set of those rows. So I am going to go back to my single arm rows. You choose whatever is best for you, single arm, double arm, or that standing with the pause of the squeeze. One last set. So I'm going to start with my right arm, left foot forward, right foot back, hinging at the waist. Shoulders are square, but chest is up. And pull back and release. Control it back and control it down. When you finish with 10 on one side, you can switch to the other side. Or if you're doing them together and 10's too few, you can do more. Again, make it your own. We want to feel our muscles working, but we don't want to feel pain. Oops. When you finish both sides, you can shake the arms out. I'm sure your arms are starting to feel it a little bit. If it's been 6 months, 7 months since you picked up a weight. So now we are going into your biceps. So we are going to do these bicep curls 3 ways. So we'll start with the hammer curl. So again, Options are, if the weight is too light, go very slow. If you have no weight, go very slow. If the weight is heavy, you can alternate or do fewer repetitions or do as many as you can and then drop weight and finish off with no weight. So there's a lot of ways to play. If you have more specific questions, again, email me. All right, so pick up those weights. We're going to stand up tall. Uh-oh, I'm losing my voice. Stand up tall, soft bend in the knee, shoulders back. Focus on your posture. Focus on your posture. So shoulders down, chest up. Palms are by your side. Here we are going to keep the elbow by your side as we curl the weights up towards the shoulder, the front of the shoulder, and then slowly lower down. So the only part of the arm that is moving is the elbow to wrist. I see a lot of people doing this, which is a clean and not a hammer curl. So we are not rotating, or we are not swinging the elbow. The only thing that's moving is from the elbow to the wrist and bringing that weight up to the front of the shoulder. We will go for about 10. So when you are ready, this direction you generally can lift a little bit heavier weight. So if your weights are heavy, you might want to stay in the hammer curl position or switch to it when you start to fatigue. Keep a nice straight wrist. Slow and controlled. Focus on squeezing the bicep at the top. When you finish 10, you can release. I'm just going to adjust my mic because I keep hitting it. Oh, shoot. When you finish your 10, we are then going to go into palms forward. Palms forward, bicep curl. So your palms will be forward and we will shoot for about 10-ish. Same thing, just a little bit of a twist of that wrist. So we are curling up and down. Now what I see a lot of times is when people curl, they are bringing their hands down. I don't know if you can tell. The bend in my wrist is going to hurt your wrist. So you want to make sure that the wrists aren't back. You want to pull them up and focus on squeezing the bicep as you come up. So up and squeeze and back down. Make sure that the knuckles are leading. You can always alternate. But if you are alternating, make sure that the hips are square, shoulders are square. Really squeeze that bicep at the top. Make sure we think about the muscle that we are working. If we have no weight, really go slow and feel it every single inch of the way. You will still get a good upper body workout, I promise. I lost count. When you finish 10-ish, you can release, shake out the arms. We have one more set of biceps. So now you have an option of doing the hammer curl, the palms forward curl, or we are going to put it together and add a little bit of a twist. So from here, I'm going to pick up my weight so you can see a little bit better. You are going to start in that hammer curl position. As you come up, your hands start to twist, and as you end, you are ending in the palm forward curl, and then back on down. So again, 10 with that with the bicep curl, whatever you feel is appropriate for you. If you're not sure, then follow along with me for about 10-ish. the bicep at the top. I have 2 more. When you have finished, you can shake out the arms, grab a quick sip of water. We are going to make our way down to the floor on your back. So grab some water, make your way down to the floor. On your back. On your back. Hopefully your arms are feeling good. Maybe a little rubbery. Okay, so on your back, we are going to go into your chest press. I'm just going to adjust my light. Okay, so on your back, we are going to go into your chest press. We're going to start off with your neutral grip chest press. So your elbows will be tucked into your side. I'm going to show you while I stand. You will be on your back, feet are flat on the floor. Elbows tucked into your side. You're pressing straight up and down. Now it's important not to press overhead. We want to press straight up. If our fingers are pointed forward and that's the ceiling, we want to press straight up towards the ceiling and down. So it's important to make sure that the shoulders are down and we're squeezing the shoulder blades together as we press. So I will demonstrate on the floor. So elbows are tucked in, abdomen is tight. We are pressing straight on up and coming back on down, sliding the elbows right down your side. Again, we will do about 10, and we want to go slow and controlled. Very little wiggles, wiggling through the arms. Now make sure you keep your core nice and tight. Shoulders are square, hips are square. Again, if you have no weight, go really slow. Make sure you drop the shoulders down and really think about what I'm saying. When you finish your 10, you can release. Again, you can always alternate if it gets too heavy. Now we are going to go into that traditional chest press. So again, I'm going to stand up so you can see it. That traditional chest press, your elbows are not pressing up here. Our shoulders are down, elbows come out at about 45 degrees, which means when I pull those elbows down, I'm squeezing my back. So you should already be feeling your back because we did those rows. So squeeze the back, then press up and down from here. So the angle of the elbows will be out at about 45 degrees. So I'm going to come down to the floor and show you. Angle is 45 degrees. Palms are facing your knees, but we're not straight out. They're angled a little bit. And then exhale up, squeeze the tummy. Again, another 10. Shoulders are down, squeeze the back. And when you are finished, you can release. Now for your last set, I am going to let you choose if we're doing the neutral grip, which we do hit a little bit more tricep, or that traditional chest press. So you choose in or out, but we are doing one side and then the other. So for this, when we are doing one side, we are focusing on that core stability. So I'm gonna have you start off. I'm gonna start off with my right hand. I'm gonna start off with that traditional chest press. So the elbows out at about 45 degrees. My other arm is on the floor. Hips are square, shoulders are square. Then I'm pressing up and back down. About 10-ish. It's harder with just one arm. When you finish 10 on the right, bring your weight down. Make sure you don't change hands with the weight overhead, and you can bring it over your stomach with the arms down and then switch to the other side. Another 10 when you're ready, 10-ish. And when you finish, you can release. You can release. Now we are going into your triceps. So on the floor, you can shake out the arms a little bit. Take a second while I talk about what's next. Those triceps, so the back of the arm. Now, I'm going to show you a couple options, and then we will get into it. So you will, if you have weights, you will grab your weights. If not, I'm going to show you first. So the arms are up long. Now, we want to make sure that when we bend the elbows don't come down. The elbows stay up as we bring the hands down and then up and squeeze. So if you have no weight, this is where you squeeze that triceps. Arms are long. Then down and then up and squeeze the muscle. Make it work. All right, so we really want to focus that the elbows don't come down. The elbows stay up towards the ceiling. So you can start off with one weight. Each dumbbell head is in either hand. Weights overhead. And then bring the dumbbell down towards your nose. And then back up towards the ceiling. And when it comes back up, you can squeeze at the top. So down and up. You can do 10 here. Or if you have the strength, you can use both weights and bring the elbows down, or the weights down, elbows up by the shoulder, and then extend back on up for 10 here. So keep going. Finish up your 10 of this set. And when you finish, you can release. Take a second. And when you're ready, you can go right into a second set. Again, no weight. You can just squeeze at the top. If your triceps are feeling it, you can drop weight, do less reps, whatever you feel is appropriate for you. Make sure you keep your core tight, strong pelvic tilt. And when you finish, you can release. Take a second. Again, shake it out. The pause, the rest in between sets is important. So make sure you are letting the muscles rest, and then we can get back into it. So the heavier the weight, the more the weight of the weight, actual weight, the more time you need to wait in between your sets. Last set. And again, if you need to drop down to one or none, that is fine. Keeping that core tight, you can always alternate one at a time. When you finish your 10, you can release the weights down, but don't put them away too yet. We are going to use them for a little bit of lower body. So you can shake out the arms if you need to. Take a second. I'm letting everybody finish up. Then when you are ready, we are going to place the weights right on the hips. So placing the weights on the hips, we want to hold them here. So we don't want to let them just rest because they're going to fall off. Hold them here. Pelvic tilt. We are going to lift the hips up into a bridge. So get the arms off the floor, squeeze the booty, and then slowly release back down. So exhale up and slowly release back down. We are going to do 15 of these. I'm on number 13. When you finish your 15, you can release. Place the weights aside, pull both knees into the chest, hug them in and just rock side to side. Relax for a second. Because then we will go into that dying bug. So flex the feet. Knees are bent at about 90 degrees, arms are up, shoulders are down. You can either alternate with just the legs or add that arm as well. So I am going to add my arms. You can keep your arms like this if need be. So left arm, right left leg, right arm comes down towards the floor, then back up, then the other side. That is one. We are going for 10 per side. That's 2 and 2. 3 and 3. 4 and 4. 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. One more each side. And you can release. Pull both knees in towards your chest. Rock side to side. The good news is we're not doing a plank today. I made you work your arms pretty hard for the first time, at least virtually, since COVID. So no plank today. Arms out to shoulder height. Drop the knees over to the right. Head comes to the left. And hold here. Then bring your knees over to the left, head goes to the right, and hold here. Back to center. Extend both legs long, both arms long overhead, full body stretch. Reach in opposite directions. Get as long and tall as you can go. Flex your feet, reach through your fingers. Now bend both knees. Relax the arms. You can take your right ankle, place it on top of left knee, and let that right knee fall open to the right. And when you are ready, reach behind the left knee. The right arm goes in between the legs as you reach behind that left knee and pull the left knee in. And release. Uncross. Opposite side, left ankle on top of right knee. Let the left knee fall open to the left. Left hand comes between the legs, right hand on the outside, and pull that right knee in towards your chest. And release. going to roll on over to your left side. On the left, make a straight line with your body.